Is it possible that Russia is going to join in NATO or not? I said, why not? Our attitude toward NATO is not as one towards an enemy organization. Of course not. Then look, we ask ourselves the question, look, this is a military organization. Yes, it's military. They don't want us there. They don't want us there. It's moving towards our border. Yes, it's moving towards our border. Why? I'm going to read to you something which was recently declassified. This is a note of the Soviet government from 1954 sent to the countries of NATO. Here's what it says. The leadership holding to its inalienable policy and taking into account all the tensions, the Soviet government announces its intention to enter into discussions with NATO countries about its participation in NATO, with the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. And this was the answer. Look, here's the answer. The Soviet government proposed, they were talking about the widening of the NATO pact and what they're going to do about bringing Soviet Union. That there is no need to stress the completely unrealistic nature of such a proposal from the Soviet Union. That's the answer that NATO gave. So what we're talking about here, you remember about a year ago, I think somebody asked a question about what's your attitude, is it possible that Russia is going to join in NATO or not? I said, why not? And right away, Mrs. Albright, former Secretary of State, she was someplace on a trip to Europe, she said, look, we're not talking about this right now. Look, you understand that we're not, our attitude toward NATO is not as one towards an enemy organization. Of course not. And I'm very grateful to the President of the United States that finally, from the territory of the United States, these words were heard. This is very important for us. We value this. When a president of a great power says that he wants to see Russia as a partner and maybe even as an ally, this is worth so much to us. But if that's the case, then look, we ask ourselves the question, look, this is a military organization. Yes, it's military. They don't want us there. They don't want us there. It's moving towards our border. Yes, it's moving towards our border. Why? So this is the foundation of all our concern, not just to bring it in or not bring it in, or accept NATO or not accept NATO. Look, look, the positive feeling that we now have developed today with President Bush, this could be a separate subject of discussion, because you know Russia is cooperating with NATO. We have an agreement. We have association. We have various accords and treaties, JPC, and there's no need to fire up this whole situation.